update by Sheldan Nidle for the Spiritual Hierarchy and the Galactic Federation, August 31, 2010. Selamabalik. We return in the midst of great negotiations that are preparing to bring your world to the point of transformation. The Dark Cabal has forged its own demise with its relentless greed and hubris. The next financial collapse is approaching unabated, and shows up clearly on the Dark's radar screens. All those in the know financially are deeply concerned about the global economy, but their expressions of misgiving merely touch the surface of what lies ahead. The Dark Kabbalists' desire to save their own skins from their fiscal irresponsibility has been dashed by the inescapable fact of their deeply flawed financial constructs. The present monetary and economic system is riddled with fault lines that are now coming apart, and a radical fix is the only way forward. Our Earth allies have positioned themselves in such a way that the only way for this fix to manifest is by means of the proposals they first introduced nearly a decade ago. A majority of those in the financial world understand this clearly and very much want to get on with it. An immense force for change is building around the Dark's minions. The switch to a new system of finance necessitates a commensurate change in who controls government. Over the millennia, the Dark Cabal's rule has been unchallenged. The obstacles now springing up around them are unprecedented. That their desires are being set aside by various influential players in the global economy is deeply shocking to them, and they are amazed that their tried and true tactics for squashing such insolence are unable to prevent a growing rebellion. This inability to maintain a hitherto undisputed preeminence is spreading panic in the ranks of the cabal, as they watch many nations secretly plotting to dethrone the Dark's chief instrument, the UN corporatocracy, and they are becoming truly desperate. In the 1940s, this Dark ruling cadre set up a world system that is now on the point of collapse, yet it doggedly refuses to yield to new ways or new circumstances. It is this intransigence that has spurred the present series of secret meetings by others in the power elites, and these are producing a cogent strategy for drastically loosening the grip of this still powerful corporatocracy. The monetary troubles of the U.S. corporate government are a major key to this strategy. Over the past few years, the implausible fiscal policies of this government and its associates have brought them to this impasse as a debt of unfathomable proportions becomes due. This debt lacks any legitimate instruments to stay the inevitable, which is why recent machinations on the part of the Federal Reserve Bank have failed to produce any efficacious result. A series of astute legal maneuvers by our Earth allies have led several small nations to seek redress of fiscal grievance for debts accrued at the hands of this invasive corporatocracy, and this adds to the legal prosecutorial portfolio being prepared by our Earth allies. A major bankruptcy and its consequences are anticipated. This lineup of sundry legal actions is to force the illegal U.S. government from power. The world community can no longer afford to tolerate the injurious policies of this rogue regime. An about-face in global fiscal policy is now at the 11th hour. The pivot of this about-face is to have in place the structures to replace the numerous corporatocracies allied to the U.S. regime. The Dark and its minions have woven a complex web comprising nations in Europe, Asia, Australia, Africa, and South America. In anticipation of this moment of regime change, the Earth allies have spent years putting together a series of temporary governments which are ready to come online when the definitive financial showdown kicks in. This moment is close at hand. Once the new global financial system unfolds, an equally new political system will simultaneously come into being. Decades of truly diabolical intentions have been leading up to this moment. In the beginning, the Dark possessed the technology to entice the naive to join its ranks, and by the end of World War II, a Dark master plan started to manifest. By the early 1960s, a devious plot for global enslavement and depopulation was well underway and set to reach maturity by the mid-1990s. This met a speed bump in the person of the late President John F. Kennedy. He defied the recommendations of the advisors and families surrounding him by instituting a plan for world peace and prosperity, the first step of which was a nuclear test ban treaty. Implementing the rest of his vision revolved around his 1964 re-election. He informed us of his intention to give a speech that would include disclosure of not only the benevolent ET presence but also the many off-world technologies acquired by the U.S. secret government. By the early fall of 1963, Kennedy and Khrushchev were in secret discussions to create a U.S.-Soviet non-aggression pact which was to lead to massive demilitarization on both sides and an announcement of the secret technologies held by both sides. We were ready to step in as needed to encourage peace and a non-nuclear future for your world. Kennedy's assassination by the U.S. secret government brought this to an abrupt halt. At the time of the American president's death, we did not yet possess a first contact edict for your world, nor were we involved in discussions with the Galactic Federation's main council concerning this topic. Earth's society was considered immature and lacking the elements for survival, and it was not until the early 1990s that Heaven's mandate sent us to your shores. Prior to that, a series of personal missions by various star nations, such as the Pleiades and Sirius, were underway, all of which were unable to formally recommend Earth as being ready for a first contact. Instead, they were inclined toward a continuation of limited intervention. It must be borne in mind that you are the remnants of a former Galactic Federation colony, which means that watching over you and intervening when necessary is a right bestowed on us by Heaven. The present circumstances are greatly tempered by what President Kennedy tried to instigate. He deeply wished to bring peace to your world and to transform the ubiquitous hate and schisms into love and global cooperation. To this end, he drew up plans to bring in a new monetary system and to create an atmosphere conducive to peace and prosperity. As you can see, these goals were in consonance with those of our Earth allies. The Earth allies arise out of ancient secret societies dedicated to the light and gain coherence from the deep yearning of many influential individuals who are children of the major dark minion families. All these ones are committed to bringing you a new reality. They have linked with us to further these goals, which now include the return to full consciousness. This diverse group is close to victory. Furthermore, we have apprised them of the prevailing heavenly timetable, under the exigencies of which the Galactic Federation is bound to institute a full first contact by a certain date. Thus we are honor-bound to monitor the actions of our Earth allies and to intervene if necessary. The time comes to move your reality into full consciousness. All has been carefully prepared. Crystal cities in Agartha, Inner Earth are ready to receive you. Mentors have been trained and a vast dossier kept on each of you. The mechanism for full consciousness is in place. Only the dark now stands in your way, and they are ready to fall. The moment for showing what you are capable of has arrived. Come together. Your victory awaits. Today, we discuss the roots of your present difficulties and the events leading up to first contact. Our Earth allies are focused on carrying out what needs to be done prior to our arrival. Be confident of your abilities to do what is necessary to prepare your societies for these glorious events. Know this, dear ones, in your heart of hearts, that the countless supply and never-ending prosperity of heaven are indeed yours. So be it. Selamat Gajan, Selamat Ya, Syrian for B1, and be enjoy.